Yeah, it's just a hobby that we've been lucky enough to, to know a career in.
But for when writing, when something doesn't work, are you usually stepping away from it, or you try for how long do you try to maybe make it work?
I'll try and make it work for about a week, every day, for hours and hours and hours, and then if not, I'll just say, look, let's just put this on the shelf, or they usually put on the shelf.
How big is your shelf now?
It's pretty big, although we've used a lot on this record. But it's, again, these ideas that you might think are awful, but then they suddenly just fit into the part of another song. But we usually, we'd never, anything that doesn't work, we scrap it a lot of the time. So we would never write 80 songs and choose 15. We just get rid of parts that don't work, and then we just cut it all down.
So you write in parts, actually, if I can say so.
Yeah. I mean, we could have 3/4 of a song, but it needs another quarter added to it. So sooner or later something will fit, but sometimes it takes time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for you, when going in the production of the recording phase of the last album, how much did you prepared everything, or you do still writing in the studio?
Probably 90% of it was, or even more than that, was more or less ready to go. I mean, we always demo the songs to a pretty high level, so we know, so there's no nasty surprises. Any parts that were difficult to deal with, we knew this was going to happen anyway. So I don't think it's work. I'm not into writing on the fly in the studio. It's not our style at all. I'd rather be much more prepared,
But is it for you something that you do all the time, or you said for Paradise Lost, it's one part of you that you put everything into, from yourself, and another part you maybe is totally not Paradise Lost-ish in that.
I mean, for me, it's like a hobby that's become our career. I mean, it really is a hobby. I mean, Greg's the same as me. I mean, we're both really into the songwriting side of it. We're real perfectionists with it as well, but it's pretty much like a guy who has modelled railways. He wants to make it as good as he can, and with the songs, it's. I find metal music can be very restricting, but you can bring a lot into the mix and make it way more interesting, which we try and do. But yeah, it's just a hobby that we've been lucky enough to, to know a career in.
Do you have a job now on the side of it?
No, we've been, professional for about 17 years or so.
Okay. And is there other things aside of it that you maybe see as a new hobby? That because you said hobby is now a career that you maybe.
Yeah. I'm sort of very much into building computers, and I'm into that sort of thing I do on the side. I'm really into computers, big style, and I don't know. I mean, I could say, I would like to write a book, but will it happen? Who knows? I mean, But there's always, I always have days where I think I'm going to do this, but I never do it. I just get drunk.
That's also maybe some writers can make it pretty far when getting drunk, but is writing, you said, is it something that you already do a little bit, or is it more fantasy?
No, I haven't actually written anything, but I always say I want to write a book about doing what we do, because it's quite an unusual career, really. I mean, there's some, that I've read books similar to it. I've never read one that I thought was brilliant, So, but I mean, it's not going to happen.
But would it be a sort of fictionally, maybe some sort of?
I would just change. I would change one letter in everybody's names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's purely fictional then.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I say. It's just I've been talking about it for 15 years, but it never happens.